With the whole 5 million coin quote debacle going on in Ark Raiders, a lot of people are saying Ark Raiders doesn't respect your time and they're getting mad at the devs. So let's talk about it. If you've seen my content before, you know that I'm not a fan of ripping on devs, you know that I'm not a fan of going into all the hate and being angry about things. I try and cover things fair and balanced from a more casual perspective. But I will say that I'm kind of feeling negative towards the devs. I really do feel that it's true that they don't really care about us or our time. For a perspective of where I'm looking at, I have less than 50 hours in the game. I played since the game came out. I just can't grind it every single day. I have a wife, I have a job, I have this job of YouTube. I do a lot of things, so I can't play as much as some people do. And that's not a dig at the devs, that's not their fault. You know, everyone's going to play different amounts and people play in different ways, right? There's some people who've been no life in the game who have 200-300 hours in the game. There's some people who have even less than me who've maybe logged in once or twice on a weekend and that was it. It's impossible to balance a game for everyone. Helldivers has been struggling with this for years now, that you can't please everyone. So I understand they can't make choices that will make everyone happy, but a few of their choices really are baffling. The first thing that feels like they really don't care about our time is the trials. Now again, I'm fairly casual, 50 hours. I thought, oh, you know, the trials are coming out. That'll be a fun reason to log in each week and compete a little bit and see if I can get some rewards and have a little bit of competitiveness without the PvP. So I was really excited to try trials. And then after trying the trials, I realized these are a huge waste of time and I'm never going to touch these except for maybe getting a 3-star blueprint, but that's it. Here's a Reddit post. I kind of got like a little snippet of it that kind of explains one of the major problems with it, and that is depending on when you start, depends on what group you're put into, which means all the sweaty hardcore people are abusing the system to make sure that they always get ranked up, and if you happen to get stuck in a group with those, it's impossible for you to rank up. Not to mention solos and trios are on the same like leaderboard, so you're competing against 3 times the amount of manpower, and it's just unfair. Not to mention you can do a run where like you spend the full 30 minutes getting as many points as possible and then get ratted down by someone and lose all that progress. Now again, that is a part of the PvP experience, that is a core part of the game. However, losing a half an hour of work is definitely not respecting your time. So I've all but given up on trials. As I said, I'll sometimes do like the 3-star one if it's easy enough to be able to try and get a blueprint, but I only have like 11 blueprints at this point. Like I've barely ever found a blueprint, which is a whole separate problem that we'll talk about. If you've probably seen from my gameplay here, I don't know the best routes. I haven't spent any time going online and looking up the best routes. I haven't tried to min-max the game. I haven't tried to ruin it by looking up guides. I'm simply just doing what I find fun. And that's how I like to play games, is just going in and doing what's fun for me. I probably spent 10 hours following people down with binoculars and doing Ark Raiders photography because it was fun. Did I get anything for it? No, but again, it was fun. But as you can see from this, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of running around areas, doing whatever pleases me, but I'm not finding any blueprints, and my progression is next to none because they just announced we need 5 million coins to do the expedition and get the maxed out part of it. That is the 5 extra skill points. Now, let me be clear, I know that the skill points are darn near useless. I understand that it's a minor quality of life buff at most, and there's no need for them. You're going to be just as successful if you don't grind the 5 million. However, the devs should be aware of human nature, and the way humans work is, 1, you have the fear of missing out if you don't get those, and 2, they are going to min-max the fun out of everything possible. As soon as they announce that you need 5 million coins in order to get the most out of your expedition, a whole subsect of players immediately said, okay, well then, I'm only going to do what is best. I'm only going to take free loadouts, I'm going to go in, I'm going to shoot people in the back, I'm going to take all their gear, I'm going to get out, and I'm just going to go and do that multiple times to sell everything. I'm not going to use any of my gear, I'm not going to play in a fun way, and they're burning themselves out playing in an unfun way because they are trying to min-max the best way to get the 5 million coins before the deadline is here. That's just human nature. That's what most people are going to do, is they are going to ruin their own fun when there's a deadline, when there's a fear of missing out. That's, again, just how people work. We see it in World of Warcraft, where people play patch day, they'll play for 100 hours straight and then cry that there's no content because they burned themselves out playing non-stop for 3 days. We see it in Helldivers. We see it in basically every game ever, so this one is no exception. But the devs should be aware of that and know that that 5 million goal is causing people to play in an unfun way, and it's simply an unfun goal. I'm going to throw up a few screenshots from Reddit. These are just random things that people are talking about on this, just showing that people are discussing it and obviously take issue with it, and they're trying to min-max this, they're trying to figure it out, they're trying to figure out how can I do this as quickly as possible, because they're not having fun with it, right? If a goal was fun, people wouldn't try and figure out how can I do this with as little work as possible, they would simply go and enjoy it. This is a crafting chart that shows that no matter what you craft, you are always going to lose money on it. There's one exception to this, and we are all confident that one exception is going to get nerfed into the ground as soon as Embark is aware of it. So again, we have a different money-making way that could be fun, but it simply doesn't work. So you're forced to just go in there and run with a free kit, grab everything possible, go and sell it, and that is how you are going to get to this goal. Now, of course, this is all voluntary, right? You don't have to go on the expedition, you don't have to give up your blueprints and all that, but for a lot of people, that is the end game, is wiping, resetting, and rebuilding. That's kind of the core focus of extraction shooters. We've seen that in, like, the quote granddaddy of them all with Escape from Tarkov. Sorry, I forgot the name for a second, right? That's how people have enjoyed it. So clearly Ark Raiders is taking inspiration from that and giving us the option, so people want to take it, but we're already punished so much. And this goes back into the whole, like, it doesn't respect our time. We're losing all the blueprints. That doesn't impact me as much because, again, I only have like 11 blueprints, but the people who farmed all the blueprints are losing all of their blueprints and have to do that grind all over again on top of all the other downsides, and all they're getting out of it is 12 measly stash spaces, a cosmetic that doesn't matter, and 5 extra skill points that, again, we all acknowledge probably won't change all the game too much. It just feels like there's no respect for our time. You're not really getting anything out of this. There's almost no point to go on the expedition, but I know a lot of people are going to, because again, that is the end game that they're used to. They need to reset it to have the fun again, but it just feels kind of disrespectful to the amount of time people are putting into the game. And this isn't a Ark Raiders is dying, it's dead, it's cooked, whatever sort of post. The game is doing as well as it pretty much ever has been. But I do fear that after this first expedition, that there's going to be a lot of people who go on the expedition, they come back to the game and realize, wait, I did all that work, it's all gone, and now I just have to do it all again ad nauseum for forever and ever and ever, and then they'll quit. And I can't pretend like I have all the perfect solutions out there, but I do think that they need to add a few things or change a few things to really keep people around and make it a little bit more player friendly. I think trials need to be reworked so that there's solos, duos, and trios. It can't all be jammed into one. And I definitely think they need to do something about the idea of, well, if you don't play for the first 6 days and you jump in on the last day, you're put in a different group than the people who started playing right away to game the system. They definitely need to fix those two things to make trials even be bothered with. I don't think the majority of the community is interacting with trials because it's such an unfun waste of time. I think the 5 million goal is far, far too much. And I've seen a lot of great suggestions on that. Like, well, instead of that, how about just reaching max level gives you 1 point? Or how about crafting a certain amount of items means you reach a certain point? Actual like milestones within the game rather than just grind out 5 million coins. I'm going to go back and make one small correction because I'm flabbergasted. Earlier I said I only played 50 hours. That is still correct, about 50 hours of gameplay. I thought the more hardcore people would have like 200 hours in the game. Apparently I was totally wrong on that. I looked up the Steam charts and I see some people at 800 hours, 700 hours, 600 hours. Keep in mind, the game has only been out for 40 days. The amount of hours you could possibly have played the game max is 960 hours. I cannot believe that some people have been grinding this game for 18 to 20 hours a day for 40 days straight. Holy cow, I had no idea those players even existed, so I was just blown away by that. I had to include that little correction. I thought most people like 200 hours would be excessive, but I was way off. And that's what you're competing with in in the trials, right? Like, you're competing against someone who is playing 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, while I log in maybe 2 hours a week, if that. Okay, back on topic. My point for all this is I don't like to be negative, I don't like to doomsay, and I don't like to be harsh on devs, but I am starting to feel like the devs really don't care about our time and care about the players in Ark Raiders. They've tried to be good about communicating and updating, but some of these things just seem so anti-player friendly that it's mind-boggling how the decisions were made. So if you have solutions, I would love to hear them. Put them in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a blessed day. And if you wouldn't mind, if you're not already, my little call to action, please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 10,000 before the new year. I'm pretty sure that'll never happen, but hey, I'm throwing it in here. So thank you for watching.